Hey, welcome to The Explainer. You know that saying, right? Music is the universal language. We've all heard it. It's this beautiful, almost romantic idea. But is it really true? Today, we're going to dig deep and find out what's really going on in a full-on biocultural investigation. So let's just get right to it. Here's the big question. Is music actually a language that everyone, everywhere can understand? I mean, could someone from a tiny village in the Amazon and a trader on Wall Street listen to the same song and feel the same thing? Does it really just cut through all our cultural differences? Well, that's the mystery we're unpacking today.
All right, first things first. Let's explore the yes side of the argument. There's some seriously compelling evidence that makes the whole universal language idea so incredibly powerful. And honestly, there's some pretty solid reasons to believe it. Okay, get this. Music isn't just, popular. It's a total constant of being human. I mean, archaeologists, anthropologists, they've looked everywhere, and they have never, ever found a single human culture, past or present, that didn't have music. Not one. That fact alone, its sheer everywhereness, is our first giant clue.
Now, we're not talking about some recent fad. Our musical roots go way, way back. We found flutes made from bird bones that are at least 35,000 years old. That's before we even had a lot of other complex stuff going on. For thousands of years, people have been trying to figure out its power. From Pythagoras in ancient Greece, who saw the math of the universe in musical harmonies, to Charles Darwin, who guessed it might have evolved to help us find a mate, kind of like birds.
So it's not just that music is there. It's what we do with it. And it turns out we all do pretty much the same things. All around the world, we use music for the same core stuff. We sing lullabies to our babies. We use it in healing rituals. We use it to dance, to bring a whole crowd of people together, and to mark the big moments in our lives, like weddings and funerals. So, looking at its job description, yeah, it seems like a universal human tool.
But, and this is a big but, that is only one side of the coin, because there is a really strong counter-argument out there. One that says music isn't a universal language at all. In fact, it's the opposite. It's something deeply, deeply local. This quote really flips the script. It comes from ethnomusicology, which is just the study of music in its own cultural home. And it says, hold on a second. Music isn't supposed to be universal. Its whole point, its whole power, comes from how it celebrates the uniqueness of one specific group of people in one specific place.
And this leads to a really important change in how we talk about this. These experts say we shouldn't even say the word music. We should say musics, plural. It sounds a little weird, but it's a game changer, because suddenly we're not talking about one big thing. We're talking about thousands of different musical languages, each with its own grammar and its own vocabulary.
Let me give you a really clear example. A lot of the music we hear in the West is based on a 12-tone scale. It's a very specific system. But if you go to Indonesia, a gamelan orchestra has a tuning system that's completely unique to that one orchestra. The orchestra in the next village over, it's tuned differently. You can't just swap the instruments. The very building blocks of the music are fundamentally different.
And it goes way beyond just the notes. It's about what the notes mean. We might hear a song in a minor key and think, oh, that's sad. But that's just something our culture taught us. For the Mbinzeli pygmies in the Congo rainforest, funerals are a time for what we would call happy-sounding music. Why? Because their belief is that showing sadness out loud could upset the spiritual balance of the forest. The emotional rule book for music? It's written by culture, not by nature.
And here's where it gets really critical. Some scholars point out that this whole idea of a universal language of music, well, it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It really took hold in 18th century Europe, at a time when there was a strong belief that European art and music were the most advanced, the most natural. So according to this viewpoint, the idea wasn't some neutral discovery, but a cultural assumption that got exported around the world, often through colonialism.
Okay, so what is going on here? We have two totally opposite takes. Music brings us all together, or music shows how different we are. How can they both have a point? Well, the answer might not be in the music itself, but in here, in our brains. So let's see what neuroscience has to say.
So, as it turns out, our brains kind of come with some basic music processing software pre-installed. No matter where you're born, your brain is biologically wired to notice patterns, to feel rhythm, and to process pitch.
It's this built-in biological hardware that we all share. It's our common starting point.
And here's the magic behind why music feels so good. When you listen to a song you love, it literally lights up a part of your brain called the nucleus accumbens. This is your brain's pleasure center. It's the same part that gets all happy when you eat your favorite food or win a prize. It shoots out dopamine, that feel-good chemical, and gives us a rush. And that response? That's a biological universal.
But hold on. Does that make music a language? Not exactly. And this is a really important difference. Spoken language and music can light up similar parts of the brain. But language has one thing music doesn't: semantic specificity. The word tree means, well, a tree. Music doesn't work that way. It has no dictionary. It's amazing at communicating pure emotion or patterns, but it can't tell you to, say, pass the salt.
So, where does all this leave us? We've got universal biology on one side, and we've got diverse cultures on the other. It feels like a paradox. But it's time to bring these two big ideas together into a single concept that, honestly, solves the whole puzzle.
And here it is, the big idea. The answer isn't a simple yes or no. It's something way more interesting, a biocultural universal. What does that mean? It means we all share the same biology for music. Our brains are ready for it. But it's our unique culture that teaches us how to use it, what it means, and what it sounds like. You could say biology gives us the canvas, but culture paints the actual picture.
Let's just walk through it. Step 1. We're all born with that same basic brain hardware, ready to process sound. Step 2. As we grow up, we soak up the musical grammar of our specific culture. The scales, the rhythms, what's happy, what's sad. It's just like learning to speak. And what's the result? Step 3. You get this incredible, rich, beautiful mosaic of different musics all across the globe.
So, in the end, we can finally update that old saying. Music isn't a universal language. No, it's a universal human ability. It's our shared biological gift for creating and learning an amazing variety of musical languages. That's the thing we all have in common.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. If our brains are universally built to learn something as complex and abstract as music, what else are we wired for? What other languages, like math or art or even complex social rules, are we naturally built to understand? Maybe music isn't just music after all. Maybe it's a key to understanding our own incredible potential. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.